What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Oh, whoa. Whoa. Oh, boy. There we go. I'm trying to hold on, guys. I'm trying to find my thing, but I don't know where it's at. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Power on. Bluetooth connected.
Alrighty. There we go. Before we officially start it up, I want to work on and ink this Rick and Morty piece that I did digitally. So before we do the sketch cards, we're gonna go and do a little bit of some of this. Yeah. All right, hold on, guys. Let me do this real quick. Welcome over in YouTube. Appreciate y'all for joining in as well. Appreciate you. Like I said, we're gonna be doing this Rick and Morty right here. Go ahead, set it ablaze. I don't know which one I want to use though. I don't know which ink I want to pull out of the hat. I'm thinking maybe size 1, maybe. Nah, I don't think a size 1. I think maybe like a size. I'm gonna play with the 8, the brush, and the brush. Yeah, I'm gonna play with those. Let's see how they do. Okay, that's the brush. I think this one was the 8. Yes. So how's everybody doing today? I don't even know which one to start. So I did make copies of this, like I said. Um, and everything like that. So I did this digitally, and like I said, you can check out the time lapse and the process video on my social media platforms. And I should already have it on YouTube actually as well. If you want to see me do how the starting process of everything was for that. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a while since I did a Rick and Morty piece. You feel me? Like I haven't done one in a very, very long time. That was like almost where season 1 was still in. And at the time, I was a novice. I wasn't into digital. I was still doing no traditional thing. think I might, and then I might go for a more smaller approach with more thinner ink brush. But I will be doing this. I will finish this up digitally too, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I don't know how people can work straight ahead, like straight completely in portrait mode. I gotta move it around. I definitely gotta move it around for me. Oof. But is anybody Rick and Morty fans in here? Any Rick and Morty fans? Yeah, me. I enjoy the show. I like this. I like the new season now, especially with Morty. It's like someone's writing his jokes. It's really good. It's funny. It makes him a very funny character for me. For his sense of humor he has, I really like it for sure. Whoa, what's this one? How did I get one back out here? I mean, not one. I need the size, maybe two. I'm gonna rock with two, and I'm like 005. I'm gonna rock with the 005. See how that go. Like, how did that get back out here? Welcome in, you guys. Appreciate y'all for liking the live. That really does help out the channel. Really do appreciate that. We're doing ink work for this Rick and Morty piece I created. And so we're just having fun right here before we start getting into the sketch cards and stuff. Yep, yep, yep. There we go. But curious, how did y'all find me? Did y'all already follow me, or someone recommended, or just happen to surf through the For You page, doom scrolling, and ponder on the live? Let me know in the comment section what brought y'all here today. Yeah, I low-key gave that man the Vegeta hairs. When I look at it, I low-key gave him the Vegeta. I really gave that man the Vegeta. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. I might use a smaller size for that. I don't know. I think I was going to do his portal gun, add it to it, or not. But yeah, I think I'll. It's still up the grads because it's still in its rough sketch stage digitally, so we can work something around that. We can work something around that, can we? Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Let's see. What else can we do? We can actually bring that down a little bit. We can actually bring that one down. That shadow. I've thought of doing Kids Next Door next in my other project, but I still got more to do though. So I was like, in due time, in due time, in due time. Yeah, definitely in due time. Somebody's doing utilization. Welcome in, you guys. Welcome in on over there on YouTube. We are live on Whatnot as well. Really do appreciate y'all for joining in. Definitely help out the channel. We are working on Rick and Morty. Before we start on sketch cards, just wanted to ink this up, see how it look. I do enjoy my inks. For sure, for sure. And it's been a while since, like I said, it's been a while since I did Rick and Morty too. So there we go. Hey, Cliff, how's it going? How's it going? Welcome in. I think I might grab the number one just to get a better fine point and control in the brush. We're gonna blacken this stuff out here. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate that. So I enjoy my Rick and Morty. Love it, love it. I'm blind as a bat. Now I gotta look real. I gotta look really into the piece, especially for space Beth over here. I like and subscribe, yo. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Like I said, there's always gonna be more art coming, as well as like I said, I'm starting my new book. I'm about to get it. I already got it finalized today. Doing a limited signing for that shortly. So man, everything's doing all right. Want to bust more commissions though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I kind of want to get into more commissions, digital or traditional. Like I said, it doesn't matter. I usually can just transfer something, go digital and then transfer it over. Easy peasy. Just have fun. More the merrier. Hey, how's it going, Bites? Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. I've been this art style, man. Hey, what's up, Sun and Moon? Like I said, we are live both on whatnot as well as YouTube. So yeah, if y'all it doesn't feel like I'm talking to somebody, yeah, I'm probably talking to going back and forth between the platforms. But whatnot, what you miss will be on YouTube if you want to subscribe to that whenever you feel like you're ready. But usually we be playing music and stuff like that. But I'm sorry for the silence, here and there. But I kind of can hold up the conversation just a little bit until you get back all quiet again. Whew, doing that Beth, doing that one with Beth, boy. Whew. All right, let's see here. Let's take our. I think we might need our 1 inch. Oh, D for CD. Okay, bet. That's no problem. That's no problem. You know what? I think I might go ahead and just do her outline though. Like I said, I made copies of this, so if I mess up, that's all right. I already made copies of it. This was just like to see where it goes. Like I said, we're gonna be doing random sketch cards today. Nice spin the wheel. We did that event, I believe, last week. We did that event. The week before that. Can't really remember like that. But I think we did it. I think we did that. Yeah, I think we definitely did that last week. Matter of fact, let me put y'all up a little higher over here so I can literally see my so I can go in real closer for my for this right here. I don't have great lighting for myself. Y'all probably can see because of course I'm inking it, but trying to see that blue is whew. Y'all know the struggle. I know the struggle. I'm trying to see if I wanna. Let's see. I guess we could just finish off. Finish off summer. You said, have you seen my art drawings? I'm pretty good at, mixing colors and all that, but I'm bad at digital art. Once I try to draw Zoro, in digital art, it looks super ass. And I'm a small creator just like you. Want to give out that you don't have to give up, your art style. It's made a love that you draw digital. That's what I'm actually best. Oh yeah, don't worry about that. Despite whether on whatnot or wherever place that prefers traditional, I still love my digital. It's just a lot that means a lot to me. I've always told the story a couple of times, but everybody's new here, you know. But I would say never give up your passion of how you do your art for anybody. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't really kind of say I'm a small artist a little bit because just I don't really be on YouTube as much, you know, because I was more uh, consistent on TikTok and stuff. And so I did hold myself a good little almost 30K followers on that due to the art and how it progressed in the over the later years. But I got rid of it because, like I said, I don't like how TikTok is going now. I don't like how they're doing their stuff. So regardless of how many followers I had back then, I was just like, it's still not worth. You know, I'm looking more for people who wants to truly support people's work and even further invest in it. That's my kind of goal of still drawing and then also still trying to handle marketing because like I said, I will be selling my comics, so I will have to do marketing eventually. So in due time, like I said, it's just mostly I don't push too hard uh, when it comes to just my regular art and stuff like that. You know, I'm not doing skits or anything too crazy. Just process videos. I know a lot of people do appreciate my process videos. They like to see how I draw and how I start, my pieces and everything. So it's really good. It's really good. Oh yeah, I already done. I did Absolute Batman. I will be doing Absolute Harley Quinn next, and then I know somebody wanted a mutual wanted to do a collaboration, and so I said, you know what, I can do. Well, I'll do Harley Quinn. I could do Bane or something like that. Kind of interested in doing Two Face. I like his design. Scarecrow, like his design too. So, like I said, it's just waiting on people that wants to collab and stuff like that. But in the meantime, I work on other projects. But yeah, mostly I'm focusing on my books right now. But a lot of people be like, "Hey, I don't know how you do it." I'm like, "Shoot, I manage. I manage. I definitely manage somehow, some way." So yeah, don't give up on your joint. Yeah, for sure. If you don't give up here, we do not give up here. He said, "Do you realize I'm pretty addicted into drawing? I even made my own OCs." Oh yeah, definitely. Making your OCs will boil it down to what you really want to do as an artist. That's why I always try to tell people, man, instead of drawing fan art all the time, try drawing. Just think about trying to draw a character. And like I said, you don't got to go far and beyond with them, like making a book, one shot. Some people just use them as regular mascots and do fun things with them, challenges, dress them up, do a little bit of um some comic book panels, some sequentials and call it a day. But oh yeah, I do like that people do create their own original IP and then just run with it. Do what they feel like they want to do. I like what they come up with. So I cater to people that does their own thing. I do. I like that they bring something from nothing, tells what inspired them to do it, and then they just show it to the world. If people don't like it or not, it really don't matter. But to take something from nothing and showing it to the world regardless is an incredible feat. Incredible feat. So he said honestly, every time I show my art, everyone thinks I just copied, even though I'm trash without using references. Like Bang, for example, I didn't copy anything about it. I just used a reference. Yeah, I can't really know until I look at what your art is. Like I said, I absorb into line work. So like I said, right now I'm just experimenting different sizes and everything like that. Because you don't see it when I draw, I stick to one size, and that's it. Ugh, yeah, I mostly just stick to one size and call it. But in this right here, I just want to experiment and use my other different ink brushes. See how it turn out. Might turn out buns, who knows? Oh yeah, shoot your shot. Tell me what's up. No. Put a little dot there. Draw a good old Jerry. What the fuck? Whew. I might need a magnifying glass. What? God dang. I didn't think I was that blind. I really didn't think I was that blind, bro. I really didn't think so. Oh, interesting, interesting, interesting. Yeah, I was thinking maybe doing. Oh yeah, I was thinking about doing these pieces like through a certain size, but I want to see how the outlines and stuff will go though when I do them. Mhm. Once again, guys, I do appreciate y'all for sharing the live as well as just chiming in. Like I said, we do got some commission options in the store right now for whatnot. So if you want to check that out, feel free to do so. And don't forget the notes that are posted above the live. Boom, boom. Oh, there's no notes. What? Oh, you know what happened? I was about to post them, and then I just let it go. They asked me why. Hey, how's it going? Appreciate you for joining in. How you doing today? Yeah, so the finite curve would be around, and then it goes here, blah, 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 around everything. All right, this is where we're going to go. I have to use the big shies, the big shies. Might as well do it for Jerry because I don't want that thin kind of outline. I don't kind of want all my outlines to match up and be the same. Because even though we're experimenting, but I think I do prefer, in this case, the thin lines. Because if I do them, the outlines thick, especially when it comes to like the small characters, it'll looks like it's forming into like a sticker for me. I feel like it forms into stickers. I mean, that's not too. It's not bad, but no, I don't like that way of it. I just had it too. There we go. I don't know. I don't know about the one though. Let's see. Like I said, this is rough sketch. This isn't this line work wasn't. I didn't make this from an ink brush yet. This is still pencil. So there's going to be markings and stuff like that. That's already going to be applied to it. Mm-hmm. This is an artist yourself. Do you think using AI is bad for artists? Yes. We don't really need we don't really need that. We don't need AI tools. We've been going fine without it for centuries. Why would we need it? Why would we need that now to make things easier? Heck no. To save time? Heck no. The richness of it all is to grab a skill, learn that said skill, become a novice to intermediate to pro, and then master it, and then teach others how to do it. And then sometimes if you aren't teaching, your skills will be learned to people who likes it. But to use a tool to dictate creativity is a no-no. I think it's a lazy way of doing things. And like any tool, you don't need to use it forever. So healthy, I'm not to be in disrespect. I always want to know. I'm 14. I started since I was 5. Oh, I'm in my 30s. So, but yeah, my advice to someone as young as you: don't try to be that person is a, oh, AI this, AI that. Nah, creates. I'm telling you, you're gonna come to my age and be grateful that you did the hard work of gaining that skill alone, and then people look at you on how you do it. And then when you get older, you get faster with it. You stay disciplined and consistent with it, you get faster. Now, consistency and discipline isn't something that a kid your age, it just depends of how you're raised, but you ain't got to worry about that too strongly. You know what I'm saying? But eventually, you want your work to have that structure of discipline, and then, like I said, consistency. And if art is your true main goal, those are the two things you'll definitely would need. You know, for your work besides just motivation. You know what I'm saying? And inspiration always helps too, of course. It's what drives you to already create. That's your foundation of why you do what you do. Your motivation is there to keep the fire lit just enough to where when you get those bursts, you'll be like, oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And whatever you're watching or anything that you're absorbing or experiencing will give you that motivation to think of the next art project that you're gonna do. Then when you learn motivation, you got inspiration as your blueprint, you got your motivation as your way of, you can always come up with an idea and that drive to keep going. Then once you get your motivation, your consistency. Your consistency is like your style. If you got a style or whatever like that, and you're always, doing things that improves your art every step of the way. You don't just do one project, you leave off of, not doing any other project for weeks on end, and that's where discipline comes in. But consistency, you want to have that as a skill to always just come up with projects left and right, and then people are just like, while they're focusing on, and there's nothing wrong with focusing on a one project, don't get me wrong, focus things at one at a time, but when you get that skill to always have those ideas busting out and you can write them down, you can draw them out. And like I said, you're not focused on them, but you can push that out and you can stay consistent with it. And that's what you would need as a comic book artist, especially as creating your own characters and your own story. You got to have consistency. Is your characters going to stay the same when you keep drawing them over and over again? For sure. And then, like I said, discipline. Everybody can't learn discipline. That's where it's tricky at. And so on your age, I feel like, if you are young, if you look at the words, if you listen to the words that I'm saying, and you take these specific words, like I said, inspiration, motivation, consistency, and discipline, you'll go a long way. And there's no cap limit to how much you'll learn. So always make sure to experiment and learn different things as well. Because like I said, I love 2D art. 2D art is my thing. I love it. I love 2D art, but some people were like, "Hey, you ever tried painting? You ever tried this, tried that?" And I was like, I've tried it before, like when I was in art class, but it just wasn't me. I always turn back to 2D art, and so there's always just because I say I do 2D art, there's a lot of stuff you can do with 2D art. You feel me? I can do fan art. I can do my characters. I can do comic books. Graphic novels. I can do posters, stickers. You can do animation, storyboarding, character designing. You can do all that stuff within just that whole entire area of 2D art. So I say, yo, I'd rather do all what I can know in 2D art before I even think about doing any other type of forms of art, because there's still a lot of stuff to master inside that same craft that you said you want to, you chose and you want to learn for sure. Yes, indeed. So just keep practicing. Always make sure to use your references for sure. There's always going to be some haters when you're trying to grow your style out. Always challenge yourself too. See what you can do without a reference. If you have that vivid imagination where you can think of the image and you can map it out. I have that. I forgot what it's. I keep forgetting what it's called. It's called hypothesia something, and it's what a special ability in the brain where you can literally visualize an image and you can make the exact. You can make it in. almost close to or the exact replica of it, of that said image. So I had that. So back when I was in high school, I got a little bit more into drawing, a lot more. I did doodles here and there when I was younger, but I have the skill for art still. Never left. That's where the gift comes in. A gift always be there without you even doing it, or taking or only doing it here and there. So I had the gift in art. It was it was just something of a thing that I was just like, oh, you're pretty good at this. And then other people look at it and like, oh, you're pretty good at this. And I said, I know, right? God damn, I gotta do something with it. And so when I did something with it, you're watching me right now today of what happened when I kept going. And then you always got to have faith too. I don't know if you're a religious person. I don't know if your parents are a religious type of people, but always have faith in something that will get you to where you want to get to. And so, like I said, you'll see people. One of the things that you're gonna have to learn as an artist, especially when you're on social media. I'm gonna read your comment in a second too. The one things you're gonna have to when you learn when you get older, there's always gonna be a time for you, a place to shine. As long as you stay, like I said, remember them 4 words I told you: inspiration, motivation, consistency, and discipline. If you have those 4 hand in hand, ain't nobody can beat you. The only person that will be your worst enemy is yourself. The person that's going to be your worst critic is yourself. The person that's going to be your most the person that gets you motivated is going to be yourself. Like I said, you is your worst critic, but you can also be your biggest cheerleader. So once you keep that in hand, ain't nobody can tell you nothing. People are like, oh man, you copy that. Like, man, and I'm practicing. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, I'm practicing. I'm getting better. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then eventually, what you gonna say when I don't need these references? What you gonna say when I don't need to look at something and try to replicate or whatever like that? What you gonna say then? And so that's what I say. You see my style here. Back then, I used to replicate stuff, and then eventually, I said I got tired of replicating stuff. I want to draw these characters that I like in my style, and that's how we got it. Because I'm good at making characters and all that, but I'm bad at making comic and all that. So I could and all that so I could just do a novel and then put pictures like visuals into what's happening. I get you. I thought of that too. I'm making about 6 stories. Um, I've already have half of them written with at least their first issue. Some of them got more. And I thought of breaking one down into a novel. I'd done illustrations for it and everything like that, character sheets, uh, comic variants, and then they got a lot of comic variants too. They got a lot of comic variants. Um, but I've came to terms with myself. Maybe I might for this one I might do a novel. You know what I'm saying? Not worry about a focus on a comic book and do a novel. But don't let what you know right now stop you from doing comics. You feel me? If you feel like you want to do comics, you go on YouTube and you find a way to do comics. You feel me? And I'm trying to think of somebody that can actually be really good. I do try to do tutorials here and there for people. I love to spread the love and information that I can give. I'm not a complete professional in the art game, but I'm not a novice either. Um, but like I said, we're focused on traditional right now today. If you was happen to be on here yesterday, I was doing digital. I could have helped you out and showed you how to do at least a couple pages of panel and stuff like that. You said the only thing that motivates me the most is hearing Michael Jackson songs. Oh, music is going to be your, like I said, your motivation, your inspiration, hand in hand. But we'll think about those. It just gets you like a it's like think of a like I said, always think of like a fire, right? How can you keep the fire going without it blowing out? You know what I'm saying? More wood, easy. If you got a mat, if you got gasoline, even better. You know what I'm saying? But how can you keep it sustained? You know what I'm saying? You can build shelter around it. You know what I'm saying? More logs, et cetera, et cetera. You keeping it going. But if you say, for instance, if you just keep the fire with a little bit of twigs and what is it? What is something else? I forgot what they call it. But anyway, you just put a lot of leaves or shrubs, whatever like that, to add more fuel to the fire, basically, with the logs or with the branch or the twigs and branches you got together. You know what you know. You have the knowledge. You got the skills to keep it preserved. How are you going to keep that fire going? You can't just like motivation can come in and out. You can be like, ah man, I got this little nice heat around me. I got this fire started, but then I want to just relax for a second. I don't want to worry about it for a minute. And then next, it gets snuffed out quickly. It starts to go away. It dissipates. You know what I'm saying? So remember every time when you look at your artwork, remember that fire, that motivation is just something that can give it a spark, can keep it going just a little bit, just those little twigs and branches, you know what I'm saying? Or those the shrubs, the little pieces of the leaves and stuff like that. Think of motivation like that. Leaves are always around us. It falls from trees everywhere. We can always apply it to our stack of fire, our little fire pit. We can always put it in there. But what really keeps it going? The branches, the flint. You know what I'm saying? The flint that you have to spark it in the first place. That's your tool to get hit that flint with the rock. Sparks. That's your tool. So, moral of the story: motivation ain't always your best playing card. And I've always have a lot of artists that says, "Ah, man, I lost my motivation, mother, blah, man. You know, every time I lose my motivation, you know what I'm saying, and not just somehow get it back." But I always keep going with the pieces. So a lot of my mutuals and a lot of people, sometimes, like I said, you're not going to get praise, especially in this business. Not everybody's going to praise what you do because, like I said, you'll know when you start being around a lot of artists and especially a lot of professionals and legends. um, you're going to see where they're going to tell you you got to work on this, you got to work on that, versus someone who just looks at it and say, "Oh, this is amazing," but then don't really see what all it is inside of it that you need to work on. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I'm a self-taught artist, so I don't care about people that says that Michael Jackson was a he never was. He never was. If you really follow Michael Jackson to the T of how, as much as some people always keep talking bad about him, he's not a bad person. He even tried to save kids from abusers. Even McCullough, I can't remember his first name, but he even said that the guy that played in Home Alone, the kid, he even said that, like I said, Hollywood was a dark place back then. But you're 14, you don't got to worry about all that right now. But just know Hollywood was a dark place. But Michael Jackson helped out a lot of kids, and he was his own person. He's what really you have a great inspiration. You have a great person to be inspired from or inspired by, because Michael Jackson is one of those people that has gone through some dark times in his childhood to where he is able to, he missed out a great childhood. He never really had childhoods like we had, but he was able to enjoy it while he can and when he can when he was an adult. So at that point, when Michael Jackson got of a certain age, he was like, "Man, I don't care about this stuff. I love the music. I love doing what I do, but the tours, the paparazzis, all this other stuff, man. Like, man, I'm just trying to chill. You know what I'm saying?" Brother had people fainting in his audience. That's something that ain't nobody is matching that. Ain't nobody matching Michael Jackson. He had people fainting without him saying a single word. "We love you, Michael." Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, come on, bro. Who has that power? Bro, that's love. That's love. Support. Investing. That's I understand. People want that. But you see how he had if you see what he really had to go through to get to that area, then you'll know it's not easy. It ain't easy, but you do got a great role model right there for someone to be inspired. That person to inspire you. I like listening to Michael Jackson songs too. I had somebody in high school that she loved the hell out. She loved Michael Jackson, bro. She got the books, music, the everything, and she gets offended when you talk trash about Michael. Yo, she don't care. She like, nah. Yeah, she didn't. She was like, you don't dare disrespect Michael, bro. She was that. And I appreciate people that sticks up for people like that. You know, bro was straight up Piccolo in the concerts. I swear, oh God, the Piccolo, bro. Like I said, because even in Dragon Ball, maybe Piccolo may not have been the OPest, but he just had that aura around him where he just like, you better cook. You better cook or something. Because we waiting for you to do something crazy. Ain't nobody like Michael. Ain't nobody like Mike. I wanna be like Mike. Pow. A little bit of Bad Boys. Mm. See, I would love the colors, but I don't have a lot of colors. Because like I said, it's not even been I think it's almost been a year now since I got back into traditional, and so I had some old markers and stuff like that. I go back using, but yeah, I haven't really. I didn't know how limited I was though, so that's why I try not to do too much traditional if it's not a commission or something. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't mind it. And that's good. I always tell people music is a powerful thing when it comes to creativity. Most of my stories was written due to me applying, me applying music, and then I'll just be like, "Oh snap! Hold up! Hold the phone. Who did this art piece?" Because it gets so absorbed in the music and everything. My skills take over, and I just get the drawing, and boom. But what do you like to mostly draw besides your OCs? Like, what kind of fan art are you or shows that you aim for? Like me, my biggest shows, I could section it off a little bit. Like cartoons. I like my nostalgia stuff that came out in the '90s around my time when I was young. Kids Next Door, Dexter's Laboratory, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Just a few shows I can name on the top of my dome, but you gotta get where I'm at with that. But newer shows that kind of actually surprised me. in the younger generation. It was definitely Steven Universe and Gumball. I did enjoy those. I want to get into Adventure Time because a lot of people told me about it, and I like the lessons that it brings to their story and the plot. So I kind of want to get into that show. Um, Outside of cartoons, anime, Reincarnated Slime, Konosuba, a little bit too much, too old. You know, it's a little bit too extreme for kids. But yeah, Reincarnated as a Slime. I mean, I got a few, but that's just the ones I can think of. Oh, My Hero Academia, off the top of my dome. I mean, I watched Naruto, One Piece, a little bit of One Piece, not everything. I ain't caught up with One Piece yet. Um, Dragon Ball. A lot of people always be about the fight scenes. You're gonna get a lot of that too, but I honestly can say Toriyama wrote some great stories when it came to Dragon Ball. It's just it gets overwhelmed by fight scenes, and people. That's all that people talk about. But you said, what's the best anime in your opinion? Mine is JoJo Bizarre Adventures. Oh, you got some great taste there. Um, I want to get back into JoJo. I just slowed down on anime a little bit now. The recent anime I did watch was Reincarnated as a Sword. I actually like that show. I was like, I don't know, Reincarnated as a Sword. I mean, I like Reincarnated as a Slime, but I kind of got into isekai animes a lot. So, but if I were to tell you what was my first favorite anime that I locked in on when I first started anime, it was Fairy Tail and Sword Art Online. Those were the goats for me. Those the goats. It's not everybody's favorite, but it was my favorite, and I thought with it. You know what I'm saying? And then it got me to lead to a lot of isekai anime eventually. So, but I started getting to more D&D stuff too, Dungeons and Dragons and things, and should play Baldur's Gates for a little bit because that's how high my level of curiosity was going to. Now, would I actually play D&D? don't know. I don't know. I don't think I could sit. I don't think my my attention span can sit through a whole campaign of hours of like because she rolled that die one time and I'm dying. I'm like, all right, I'm out. Shoot, no resurrection for me. But you said, why does your characters kind of remind me of the characters from Cyberpunk Edge Runners? Oh, this is not. These aren't my characters. This is Rick and Morty. No, 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 no. But if you're thinking about my characters, it'll be under on YouTube. It'll be under Pick'em Comics. You can't miss it. You can't miss the name. Um, but those are my actual characters. Um, Anything under the Pick'em Comics logo is all my characters. And I have an Instagram specifically for my Pick'em comics, so you get the chance to see all my characters, the concept sheets. So yeah, if you want to follow if you have an Instagram, and you want to follow my Instagram because, like I said, I always say it's the best. It's good to build an Instagram because it's a great portfolio, especially when it comes to business. So I always tell people, people be like, "Oh, I don't got no Instagram." I was like, "Well, it's a great place to build portfolios." So if you're trying to build businesses and stuff, I mean, it's not gonna blow out the gate, but it's enough for where people of like high status that wants to look at your work, you at least have an Instagram where it's literally for quality, like to build portfolios and quality work. Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, One Piece, Naruto, Spy X Family. I did like Spy X Family, but when anime starts going on hiatus for too strong, I then eventually just don't care to watch it again. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it came to Spy X Family. I mean, some people can be adamant to read it, but at this point, uh, it just makes me go into other anime. I just start watching other stuff, and then eventually I just forget about it. So it wasn't like it was bad or anything. It's just that eventually I just, the hiatus was just too long. And I just focused on other stuff. And like I said, I like other stuff other than anime. I like adult animations. Rick and Morty, American Dad is one of my top favorite. I used to like Family Guy a lot, Futurama, but eventually, like I said, American Dad is my go-to animation, adult animation. Excuse me. We went with those. But Chainsaw Man, oof, Chainsaw Man. Once it was started going out to when they first announced their season, the first very season, I started reading it because I was like, I used to like Berserk, loved it, and it sucks that the creator passed away, but I heard they're continuing the show, but I don't know if it's gonna be the same. I don't know. I don't know if he left them notes. So I know that he did a whole manga, so they can just probably go by that and just like change up the animation. That's all I got to do. Um, but yeah, I always wanted another show like Berserk, and then there goes Chainsaw Man. I was like, I mean, it's not Berserk, but it's similar to it. I like the element it gave to it. So yeah, I appreciated that one right there. But my other animes that I really like is Kaiju number 8. That's one that I actually absorbed and really got into. That was just like, I mean, I used to love robots. Watched a little bit of Gun. Like I said, I wasn't really a big anime head type of guy when I was young. I mostly, like I said, stuck to adult animation, Robot Chicken, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon. Sometimes Disney Channel, but I was more of a movie buff than I was TV shows. So movies was just my whole entire overtake of loving, stuff like that. So um, it really solidified my art as well. But what really sold to get my comic book started, God of War. I'll tell it everybody. I'll tell the whole story to everybody. God of War. It solidified everything. But you said, oh wait, have you seen the anime? Nudge? I haven't. Someone did tell me to watch that, but like I said, I take my time. I try not to overload myself with a lot of anime. But if it's isekai anime, I'll definitely I'll watch it. I'll take the time to watch it. I already just finished Reincarnated as a Sword, and just when I started, I was like, I hope they have a second season, or if this is just because I was like, I made sure to research it first because when you get into anime and this only has first season and only have maybe like 12 episodes, you're like, will you last long? You know what I'm saying? But it was actually really good, and they're about to release the second season I think this year. So I was like, oh snap, came at the right time. That's how I did Stranger Things. Came at the last minute. Yeah, that's a special kind of style. More of American comics. Yeah, it's like a American mix with anime element. That's how my style is. Not too Western, like Marvel or DC type of range, but more like Avatar. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be like Avatar: Last Airbender in a way. I know a lot of people kept comparing it to Gorillas, and I was like, oh, I don't see it. And like I said, I seen their art, and I was like, I still don't see it. But it was what the characters I was drawing that resembled them a little bit, and that's why people were like, "Oh, this looks like Gorillas." It was when I was doing Kids Next Door, and they saw literally like number one. That was I'm gonna do Kids Next Door soon. I don't know if I'm gonna draw it like this, like a movie. I call these movie posters. Projects like these, I call them movie posters for sure. And then I just think of ideas of what it would look like, and then I just make a boom. There it is. Got myself a movie poster. He said, "Oh no, not Marvel. That there is American comics include that style, so I don't see as much of insight to it. But it's cool though. Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about now. Okay. Got you. And I know what style you're talking about, but I don't know the artists' names like that. Like I didn't really get into comic books until as of late. I'm more indie creator, kind of collector and reader. I use a Berserk room my child, bro, and I already put my friends into fault of it because they showed me. My friend showed me that because I was like, that's when I started getting into anime a little bit heavy, and I got into it like in my 20s. So I mean, I watched Naruto, man, Dragon Ball, played the games and stuff like that, but I just didn't really like had an anime to get into, like lock in. I mean, I had my cartoons, man. I had Ed, Ed and Eddie and all them, but like I said, I still had movies on the side. So you can see my dilemma there of like, going into the frame, and I was just like, nah. I told him, I said, man, I want something crazy, I want something that gets me scarred. And he was like, you know what? He's like, watch Berserk. And I said, I watched. Next, I watched the first arc, watched the second one. Third one was wild at the end, boy. But it was good. It was a really great experience of seeing that level of anime. You know what I'm saying? And I enjoy it. Um, yeah, definitely enjoy that. Yeah, Griffith is a menace, bro. That's why he despised. Because he ain't like how another man moved. But then also he did tell people that he will sacrifice anybody for the dream that he wanted. So, if they followed him, they followed him, and forgot that one law and rule that he had. That he said he will sacrifice anything to get to that goal. I'd have been like, "She, well, guess what, brother? I will see you any other time, but here." But see, the thing is, with Griffith, he was chasing the bag. You know what I'm saying? He was chasing the bag till Guts told him, like, yo, I gotta find my own way, man. Put his hand on that shoulder, did that mean face, and just like, listen, Griffith, I gotta find my own path. And I told you gotta beat me. And then when Guts beat him, he just like, what? His fate was sealed, brothers and sisters. He said the brother energy of the 25 I finished it all in one day. Oh yeah, I finished them too, man. Oh, well, actually, at that time, Berserk had a TV show, and I'm pretty sure that's the one we're talking about. But yeah, that was that one. It was good. It was good. I didn't think they would have went completely totally like 3D. You know what I'm saying? But it was good nonetheless. Just sucked that they had to stop where they stopped it at, and it's been on that cliffhanger for years until they announced it recently. What is my biggest fear? Shoot. Hmm. I think right now I can't tell you my biggest fear. It's a little too deep. I mean, I got a insect phobia. I mean, I'll admire them from afar. I can admire insects from up close, but if the one comes near me, stomp the yard, brother. You're gonna be seeing me doing dance moves that you ain't never seen me do. You know what I'm saying? Just letting it be abundantly clear. But I used to be scared of like people in costumes, though. I can tell you my childhood fear. I didn't like people in costumes. Chuck E. Cheese, Santa, Easter Bunny. I ain't like the mo. I ain't like the mo. I don't know what made me have a bad experience of like seeing them. I don't know why, but I didn't like people dressed in suits. don't know. I think I like my size 8 for my ink brushes. Or my line art, excuse me. He said the most annoying part of whatever you show someone your drawing on is when they start going trying to copy the trash, even though they can draw. And that's why I say don't try to prove yourself trying to people who can't do what you do. That's one thing. I ain't about to prove. I ain't about to prove to nobody that I'm good at what I do. Yeah. All right, where's my looking for my ruler? Oh, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. I said we just inking. I said I wish I can color it. I probably may have some of the colors, but not all of them. All right, don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move. There we go. Oh, thank goodness. Whew. Yep. Not bad. And I don't really drew. I never really drew on this type of paper. So I didn't know how to sink in for the black, but not bad. Doesn't feel wet. I don't see through. So it's not bad. Not bad at all. I don't like when it don't want to work. All right, there you go. No, like I said, good thing this is just a practice page. You feel me? Just for practice. Because eventually I will ink it up though. I will do the digital and ink it, but it sucked that happened. You see, crazy work. And I don't have whiteout. That's the downside to it. I don't have whiteout, but I'll remind myself to get some whiteout. It's not totally gone. What's an eraser at? I know I had some erasers on here. This one. Try to see if I can wipe a little something off. But nah, it's good as rain. I gotta have whiteout. Ugh. Dang it. Definitely whiteout. Well, like I said, this is what that's what it looks like. And I might have to cut the live short because I forgot to charge this phone. And I have no spare. I really don't have any spare surge protector to reach over here. But yeah, this is not bad. Really not bad. I really wish I had some more markers and stuff of color that I can, finish this off. Um, but like I said, I don't think. Hold on, let me double check. Because I watched the show so much, I kind of already know what I might need and what I might not. For Jerry, only his skin and his hair, so I might have a nice brown for him. But I don't think I do. Yeah, because I'm only working like, 72, 75 colors, so. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I wouldn't have the colors needed for that. That means I'm proud of it. I was just testing out my printer when it came to, and then also testing my dang eyesight out when it came to transferring my digital artwork in this bluish, pencil color that I like. I mean, it's nothing special about it. It's traditional. Back in the day, they had to set the line art to a certain color for the printers, but it's just been it just for nostalgia and traditional stuff. But you can use a black. That's fine. Whatever color that you feel that you can see and ink over. But blue's just always been traditional. You can use red too. Like you said, have you ever had the feeling that someone is following you, but there's no one behind you? No, I don't play with demons. I mean, I like supernatural, but I don't play with demons. Maybe when I watch a horror film and something like that, I feel something is just staring at me in the corner. I'm like, shit, I don't play that. I go straight Kratos mode on them. I may not have the blade of chaos in my hands physically, but in my mind, I have them mentally, and they ain't ready. What did Kratos say? Death can have me when it earns me. Crazy word. But yeah, my thing is dying. So guys, I really did appreciate it. I mean, we didn't get no sales today. Um, no, I guess I'm just trying to be consistent on whatnot. I mostly am a commission based artist. That's what I mostly market and sell. I don't really sell something that is, you know, what I keep around. I don't like stuff like I don't like keeping my traditional stuff around. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why is because I had a bad experience when I did do inventory, and that stuff is still sitting with me today as we speak. You feel me? So that's why I don't do inventory no more. Um, and don't get me wrong, I got sales before, like at Comic Cons, conventions. I do want to do more of that, especially when my comic book is about to come out. Oh, matter of fact, I didn't show y'all. I didn't show y'all. I didn't give y'all the chance to see it. But this is just a demo. This ain't the actual final look of it. But this is what it looked like, the front cover and everything like that. Let me go ahead and give y'all a little bit more of some what you call it. So yeah, this is what it looks like. This is the front cover. I'm only gonna show you maybe 4 pages. So this is the interior of it. This is my style, my character Anya, and her brother Anthony in the scene. And then of course I show you my when I first started digital in 2018 and how I drew her and stuff like that. Now I drew Gaia. I started my character Anya traditionally, almost maybe a few months before, coming into 2018. So I did have a little bit of room, a wiggle room traditionally of drawing her character, but it's solidified further in digital. But yeah, the book is now ready. It's final. I'm really proud of this that I now have an official comic book. Now it's just time to market, to learn how to market and sell it, and everybody else gets to enjoy my story and watch it unfold. Now, my first issue of Gaia, it is time. The reason why I say it is time because it's a build up. It's a build up story. That's how my stories are always. Um, well, not all stories, but this particular story, because of how vast I want to make it, it's a slow startup. It's not something gonna jump out you. It ain't doing Kamiyama waves, it ain't fist fighting, stuff like that. So if you think it's gonna be fighting in it in the first issue, you're gonna be sadly disappointed. But I did make a little snippet of my crossover that I'm doing for my Patreon with 2 of my characters. One that is Gaia, of course, and one of them from my other comic book called I Didn't Know I Was a Vampire Till I Died. My character Talia, they team up in this little crossover. You don't got to read the main stories to know what's going on, um, and stuff like that. And then you get at least a little small snippet of a fight scene, at least in those 4 pages of preview for that there. But in the meantime, Gaia is just for world building. I just want y'all to understand the world building, the lore, you know, and have questions. You know what I'm saying? I've always, even when I wrote it, I was like, dang, what's going to be the next thing? What is what I want to put in here? I've always had questions because of how I build it up. And so I'll show you just the first 2, like right here. Like I said, it's not going to look like this. It's just a demo. And yeah. cosmic scale. Cosmic scale. You know what I'm saying? This is how far it goes. That's how high it goes, is at cosmic level stuff. Cosmic level stories because you get it's a mythology slash superhero story. Um, but the story I'm really focusing on right now is Hell's Angels. Now that this first issue is done, I want to work on Hell's Angels. And this one is part of the Earth Eternal Heroes universe. And so you get to explore before Gaia was born, before this comic book would even start. You'll start Hell's Angels, and then further along in Gaia's story, you'll get a little bit of some snippets and some conversations. Maybe some people of interest that used to be in Hell's Angels is now in her book. So, like I said, always keep an eye out because, like I said, it's a slow start for a first issue, but I'm telling you, you're not going to be disappointed on, especially the second and third issue. Oh man, I told you that shit made me cry. That shit almost made me cry, and I wrote the bit. You feel me? Like I said, listening to music. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to it was a particular song in Guardian of the Galaxy, the first movie, and they played it, I believe, twice, if I'm not mistaken. They played it. I can tell you the second time when they played it when, you remember when Peter Quill was holding the Power Stone and the rest of them was holding hands with them to share that bond and the power, you know, you know, dividedly. And so when he saw his mother in that cosmic area, and it was that song playing, that was the exact song that was playing. And I believe they did it again at the beginning of the movie when his mother passed away, due to the tumor she had. And then before he got, when he ran out of the hospital, they were playing the song a little bit low key under the radar until he got teleported and stuff like that. And then he got a whole entire new damn song that started it. But that was the song that sparked a particular scene that I created, and that shit almost made me cry, man. That scene almost made me cry. I'm telling you, like, it was unexpected. I didn't expect it my dang self that I was gonna put it in there like that, but man, I might read it again. God dang it. But there was some stories, man. I read again. I read more than twice. Amy and the Apex. Oh, I can't read this. I can't wait to start that story. It's it's about sisters battle the bands. If you ever heard of the Warriors, I mean, some of y'all are probably a little too young for that because I was young when I heard the Warriors, but I was at a good time where I was able to see the DVD and stuff like that. But yeah, it was basically like the Warriors was like back in the day, New York Times back in the 80s, I think the 70s or 80s, I think about around the 70s and 80s, in between that range, and there were gangs and stuff like that. You had the Warriors, you had the I think they called them the bench warmers or something. I can't remember, but there were just many different gangs. And then they had a PlayStation 2 video game for the Warriors as well. But basically that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Amy and Apex. Amy wants to build the best legendary crew ever. There in Cord City is where in their universe, music. I mean, you can do everything, but music is what's the everybody wants to get into. Like being a musician is raw and a rare talent to fully succeed in it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like in this, and it's very diverse, and it definitely talks about discrimination because in the universe something happens where their DNA is changed to their animal like kin. Have you ever heard when there's a theory where we have an animal trait in our DNA, and we'll like if something were to happen, or like if you ever saw the show where the kids were transformed. But some people stayed human, some transformed into animals. So Amy is a human slash orca hybrid. You know what I'm saying? And in this comic, you know, uh, being a musician, she's a dreamer and she wants that dream to be a reality. So I think this comic, the reason why this comic book touched me very much is because you're gonna see the true story of what it means to be a creator, and everybody's telling you to do this, do that, no matter what, got to do this, got to do that. And you got to put your dreams to a halt. You got to sacrifice. You got to do this. You got to do that. But given that opportunity to have those friends and then have people that knows your friends and then y'all help aid each other and support each other, invest in each other, that dream is no longer a dream. It is now concrete as reality. So I can't wait to start making that story. I've already finished the first issue for that, but it's not ready yet, so it's sitting on the shelf. Um, yeah, Amy and the Gang is sitting on the shelf right now because I really want to. Honestly, that is my ending of all stories of all my comic books. That is where once I get to Amy and Apex, you know a brother about to retire. When I tell y'all guys, I'll be like, yeah, Amy and Apex out here. I'm like, dang, JR is about to retire soon. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that is the time when I'll branch away from comic books.